Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to speak with you. I'm here to give you some insights about the Institute of Directors qualification that we do in conjunction with RDA in Moscow and that we have been doing since 2008. I'm Жаном Pussonon, I know many of you. I'm one of the senior consultants for the IOD and a regular visitor to Moscow and now virtually in running the finance program and also running the diploma program. A couple of questions I was asked to consider to sort of give you some advice as to the program. The first question I was asked is, how does the diploma fit into the three stages of the IOD qualification, i.e. Chartered Director? The qualification is a qualification based on experience. For most qualifications, you have to qualify first before you're allowed to practice. Medicine, architecture, engineering, accountancy, and all that. Here, many people are already practicing directors and they qualify almost in reverse. So the awarding body in the UK accepted the proposals from the IOD to structure the program and the qualification on three areas. The first area, the certificate, was about knowledge. Do you know about finance? Do you know about governance? Do you understand your duties as director? The diploma is about application of knowledge. And the final leg is the actual attainment of the qualification, which is a chartered director, which is really an interview after preparation of a portfolio to 2 or 3 experienced company directors and board members, where they're going to ask you, what have you done? What is your experience out there? Now, the diploma sits in between those two. And the diploma is about application of existing knowledge. Some people say there is no new knowledge. Well, every course, every conference, every workshop, there's new knowledge. But in terms of the exam content, it's everything from the certificate carried over to actually be done in a very practical kind of manner. Now, what are the main skills that people acquire from coming on a diploma? Well, the tutor who will deliver it with me, we are facilitators as opposed to tutors. The 3-day program is run almost entirely on a section of board meetings. So we get you working into small groups where you will run a proper board meeting and we'll give you the background. My colleague and I just step back totally. We just don't say a word. And each board meeting will be chaired by somebody. And after each board meeting, the chairman will get feedback from the other board members as to how he or she performed and how the board meeting actually went. Now, what's really good about this is it's done in a very safe environment. It's done in a very risk-free environment where you will come across different styles. You will meet people from very many different industries, different levels of seniority. Some will be fairly new board members. Some possibly are yet to take a board position, but you'll also have some really experienced directors. We've had directors from the central bank. We've had directors, Russian directors, who've also sit on boards in Kazakhstan, in the UK, and in the USA. And we've had directors on boards in Germany, in Switzerland, and some of them are listed companies on the London Stock Exchange and the New York Stock Exchange as well. So there's a variety of inexperienced, young, but also seasoned and very, very good directors across a wide spectrum of industries. And this is what makes this so rich. You can have a self-employed person, you could have somebody who runs a restaurant, someone who runs an IT business, and the CFO of a bank or something a bit bigger. And that cohesion is absolutely fantastic because everybody pretty much learns from everybody else. And this is really, really, really good. And also, many directors are unprepared, both professionally and personally, for their first board position. And that's why we often get people on the course, on the diploma, who are yet to become a director, and that's okay. And even newly appointed directors see this as a really, really good way to learn as to how boards work. And why are the dynamics at a board different? What makes a good chair? What makes a bad chair? And what's the difference between the two? And it's also about the realization that sometimes board conversations can be difficult. Board conversations can be awkward. Board conversations can be really, really tricky. And that's why we need the experience. And this is what this is about. It's 3 days of practice. We also prepare you for the exam, by the way. So we have an inbuilt session about the exam. So we'll guide you through to prepare you for the exam. But the key factor behind the diploma is just the board meetings, the practical experience, the learning from each other in a very, very safe environment. And no one's going to criticize, and we learn, we critique each other. And as we say in board meetings, be hard on the issue if you have to, but be soft on the individual. Okay? And this is pretty much how we do that. Why should people who've attended the certificate, directors, go forward to the diploma? Well, you'd be crazy not to. You really, really will be crazy not to. And I get it. People are busy. They have busy lives. They have busy schedules. And when they finish the certificate, there's a sense of, oh, thank God this is finished. And we understand that. But the diploma is light in terms of learning because it's application of existing knowledge. The exam is better because you will know in advance what the questions are. You are given 3 questions, and the case study will be different. So you type away, so you have control of the content. You have control of your exam paper, as opposed to the multiple choice thing. So it's a bit easier in the sense, there's more autonomy. And interestingly, at the end of every course, we do evaluation. The evaluation from directors on the diploma is always better than the evaluation on certificate. All that's very good as well. So they really, really enjoy that. And some of the comments we get are 3 days just flew. We don't know where 3 days went. It was just so quick. It was so rich. We had some really good discussions, really, really good debate. And actually, some people have said, I'd like to come on again. I may have passed the exam, but could I come again in about 2 or 3 years' time or so? That's testament to how well this thing actually works. Would it be useful for experienced board members? Absolutely. We've had many very experienced board members, very experienced company chairmen, some of them on boards of companies listed on the London Stock Exchange, and they were not out of place. They got immense amount of learning from people as well, and they liked the relaxed, but at the same time intellectually challenging environment that we provide. And also my co-deliverer and I, we have experience. Each of us works with about 600 to 700 directors a year. We each work with about 8 to 10 boards a year as consultants. So hopefully we bring that to the party as well. And experienced directors always tell us, again, it was very good. It was really, really very good. Another question we always ask is, should delegates who have no practical or little practical experience, should they attend? Absolutely. The point I made before, many directors are unprepared for their board position. What better way to have a little practice in a kind of safe environment? What better way to meet 6 or 7 or 8 other directors in a friendly manner, in an area which is full of knowledge? And actually, feedback we get over the years from directors is I wish I had gone on that before taking my board position. If only I had done that, I would have been so much better prepared. And it will give you access to very experienced directors that you can chat, well, I was going to say over coffee, but now virtually. And you'll also make some really, really good contacts and increase your network and improve your network pretty much as you go forward. So absolutely, this is for you as well. Now, because of the pandemic, this has been done online. Now, I have to say, quite a few of us at the IOD felt, will this work online? Just like many board chairmen said, could we run a board meeting online? Surely it will not be the same thing. Well, I have run 3 diplomas online, virtually already, and so have my colleagues, and the feedback has been very good. We had to reconfigure the program just a little, but without losing the content, to make it amenable to an online delivery. And it has worked very, very, very well. It has worked increasingly well, just as board meetings done virtually have worked well as well. So there we are. It kind of has worked. The learning will be no different to a face-to-face thing. The intelligence and the feedback we're getting from delegates is that they were surprised as to how efficient the online board meetings were, as opposed to what it was. And in our opinion, the learning has been very, very good. And I guess what makes this diploma, this course, different? It's more of a workshop than a course. There are no slides. I will put no slide up. There's very little new material, as I was suggesting, but we'll give you checklist on what makes a good director. We'll give you guidance on how to assess a board meeting. We'll talk about how to conduct an evaluation on actually looking at the board performance, for example. Very few courses offer you that. We'll spend a lot of time on process as much as content. For example, there is a case study that we run on an acquisition. Now, the reason as to why the acquisition should be done is 50-50, and we actually split the group into executive directors and independent or directors. And we asked the independent directors to really challenge the executives about that acquisition, and they did. So we have some, I wouldn't say uncomfortable moments, but I think to make the point that sometimes at board meetings, there is no easy answer. There is no guaranteed answer. You have to work with what you've got as a director, and the responsibility finishes there. It finishes with you. And back to what I said earlier, this is about practical application of knowledge. This is what this is. It's about simulating boards. It's about running boards. And in 3 days, you'll run 4 or 5 boards with different people. Most people will get a chance to be chairman if they choose to. Some people prefer not to. And we, my colleague and I, and you, give yourself honest feedback as to how the board has been run, how the chairman has behaved. Could the board meeting have been run better? Did it reach a successful outcome after the board meeting? And what are lessons learned taken from the board meeting? Because you see, if let's say you sit on 1 or 2 boards, say, you may have 5 or 6 meetings per company in a year. So that's, I don't know, say 12 board meetings in a year, say, and I'm exaggerating here. You're going to have 6 board meetings here in 3 days. And this is really, really valuable learning. And what we see over the 3 days is we see the quality of the meetings improve, usually. Occasionally we get the odd bad one, and we learn a hell of a lot more from that. But we see the improvement. 6 board meetings in 3 days. You won't get that in too many places, trust me. And this is the value behind this. And I hope we see you on the diploma. I think it's well worth it, particularly in an era of the pandemic where nobody knows. This has never happened before. There are no books, there are no blueprints, there are no economic. Nobody knows. Absolutely nobody knows. So therefore, we have to learn, and we have to keep learning, because your competitors also don't know. And it's a case of learning faster than your competitors and putting that learning into action much better for the betterment of your board, your company, not to mention yourself. So thank you for listening to me, and John Harvey, my co-tutor, and I'll really look forward to seeing you on the next virtual course for IDU. Thank you.